Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here, welcome back to Gents. Hope that you're doing well. Today we're talking date night fragrance. I asked you guys, what is the best fragrance to set the mood? The most romantic fragrance that you could think of. You gave me your answers and I'm sharing those with you today. But before I go over your answers, I'm gonna give you truly the only fragrance that you need for a date, okay? And it's always here, always watching. That's right. It's this one, Drakkar Noir. You're welcome. These answers, they're fine. They're okay. But they ain't Drakkar Noir. I'm just playing, guys. Don't be sad, man. I'm not trying to disrespect you. Drakkar Noir is the best of the best. And you can get this for like 15 bucks. Wonderful. I'm joking, but at the same time, I'm kind of not. All these fragrances that I'm going to talk to you about are going to be linked in the description below. Feel free to check them out there. Let's get started with Jeff Scalfano 3100. You in the mob? Jeffrey Scalfano. He says, it's played out in the fragrance community, but does very well for me. Dolce Gabbana's The One Eau de Parfum. I don't know that this is played out nowadays. I'm not sure if I would consider it that. At one point in time, for sure, but it's not at its peak of popularity anymore as far as how much it gets talked about. I mean, it's not really like flying under the radar necessarily, but it's not, you know, Lamal elixir. And I agree with Mr. Scalfano here. The One Eau de Parfum is fantastic. This is one of my favorite evening fragrances ever. It's one of the first fragrances that I think of when I'm thinking about date night scents. I think that it's perfectly manufactured for that situation. It's got enough performance that it lasts, it sticks around, but it's not overbearing, it's not overwhelming as far as the projection goes, which is what I personally want in a date night fragrance. I want something that's gonna be magnetic, something that's gonna be alluring, cozy, sexy, not something that's gonna smash people over the face and the nose and the head and their body and everything and destroy their soul. I'm not looking for that. I mean, some people out there are, but you really shouldn't when it comes to date night fragrances. Sometimes lesser is more, right? You know, it's a very common saying, quieter is louder, etc., etc. When it comes to date night fragrances, guys, depending on where you're going, to be fair, but most of the time, you want something that's gonna be more magnetic, like I said, alluring, sexy, than something that's just screechy, loud, and just aggressive and abrasive. I mean, think about it from your point of view, right? If you're going on a date, do you want the person you're going on a date with to be just loud and obnoxious? All I'm saying is, sometimes you want to rein it in, and this one does that absolutely perfectly. It's warm, it's a little bit sweet, it's spicy, has a wonderful tobacco note. Just a perfect choice. This stuff is fantastic. Is it more perfect than Drakkar Noir? I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that, but I ain't gonna say that. Up next, Ethan Spence, 7102, who says, Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. In this scenario, you want some projection. It's like he's reading my mind, but not too much. And the vanilla cherry and almond combo is really nice, while staying classy and masculine. Ethan gets it. Jeff gets it. This is the newer bottle presentation style. I don't know why I say that. It doesn't matter because if you buy it nowadays, it's gonna come like this anyway. Mine has a loose collar. Guerlain, how dare you. And this stuff is, once again, fantastic. I really love the cherry off the top. It captures attention right away. The almond adds a nice smoothness to the fragrance, a little bit of creaminess as well. And that vanilla is very prominent in the opening and to the dry down, just really attractive all the way through. There's also a little bit of leather in there and the far dry down, which again adds to that classy masculine feel that the fragrance has, just like Ethan said. And when it comes to L'Homme Ideal, there are a bunch of fragrances that I think you could go for when it comes to a date night situation. The Eau de Parfum probably is gonna be the best bet for more people, but depending on where you're going, what you're doing, the Eau de Toilette could work, Extreme could work, even L'Entente could work. Before we hop to the next fragrance, guys, here are some codes that you can use to save money across a bunch of different websites. Do pay attention to the end date for the JOMASHOP codes, and those only work in the app. And we've got codes for Max Aroma, Frag Flex, the Perfume Box, and more. Up next, we have Thanatology 493, who says, easily, La Nuit de l'Homme, man of the night, dang right. That's what it was made for. Plus, my wife thinks it's the sexiest fragrance I own, and to be fair, that's all you need. If you're going on a date with your wife and she has a favorite fragrance, I'd probably just go with that one. I mean, even if it's something that is really aggressive, you could tone it down a little bit. But in situations like that, wife knows best. And what can I say about La Nuit de l'Homme? This is one of the fragrances that is on the Mount Rushmore of date night fragrances. This is one of the go-tos, one of the OG romantic scents. It's kind of like the one in that sense. This scent is it's got that cardamom that grabs attention as soon as you spray it on. Like these fragrances over here, not too terribly strong in terms of projection. Honestly, of these three, this is the strongest. But yeah, it's a little more subdued, a little more subtle, but that does give it that allure, that magnetism, where people will smell it and they'll be like, oh, it smells fantastic. What is that? And want to get another whiff and get in closer, start creeping on you, start following you around, a little bit weird. That's what you signed up for because you wanted to wear something that's really, what am I even talking about? That's what you signed up for. La Nuit de l'Homme Eau de Toilette. It'll make you smash your head into a wall. Throwback to OG Jeremy fragrance. But I would suggest not smashing your head into the wall too many times. Could give you a little brain damage, concussions. It's very serious. Up next, we have Juan Botero, 6339, who says, Prada Luna Rossa Black. Can't go wrong there. Says it has never failed him. It's a very alluring scent that invites the other person to get closer. This is because it doesn't project too much. Guys, it's like we are all on the same wavelength here. I'm really feeling it. I'm feeling these choices. But you know what that means? That means I'm gonna go through all my tester strips. I love this. This is my favorite, one of my favorite fall fragrances ever. I almost said my favorite, but there's so many that could be my favorite that I can't just say that it is, but it's up there. I love the tonka in here. The Angelica gives it like a faint green touch around the edges, but it's got this nice sweetness that carries through without ever becoming bubblegummy, syrupy, sugary. It's mysterious, it's dark. In a way, it's kind of bold, very sexy. As he said, inviting, alluring, those things too. A little similar to Bulgari Black, which is discontinued, and Midnight in Paris from Van Cleef & Arpels, which is discontinued. Stands out amongst everything else that's out there nowadays. That stuff's fantastic. Heavenly Demon 592 says Parfums de Marly Herod. It's a cheat code, to be honest. That could be like a metal band. Heavenly Demon. The question is, which genre of metal would that be? Heavenly Demon with their #1 hit, Sinners and Saints. Parfums de Marly Herod, great tobacco scent, kind of similar to Tobacco Vanille. At least when it first came out, that was the word on this one. People were like, oh, you know, they just copied Tobacco Vanille. It's actually not super similar when you spray them on side by side, but it is in the same kind of style in the sense that it's a tobacco sweet fragrance, a sweet tobacco fragrance, you could say. We're just off the rails today, boys. With a nice warm spiciness, it's got osmanthus in there, which gives it a different touch. Very deep, rich, smells expensive, but it has that designer wearability to it. One of the best Parfums de Marly fragrances, period, let alone when we're talking cool weather Parfums de Marly fragrances. It's just one of the best overall. Good performance as well. Used to be, you could find it for a lot cheaper at discounters. Nowadays, when it pops up at discounters for cheap, it goes pretty quick because a lot of discounters have partnered up with Parfums de Marly and will sell it basically retail. And sometimes like a little bit under retail, but still pretty close. So what are you gonna do? How do I pronounce this one? Yoryos 1. Yoryos 1. I'm sorry. Nice choice though. Dior Homme Intense. I feel invincible when I wear it, like there's a big S on my chest. I feel 10 feet tall and strong as an ox. Hopefully some of you out there get that. Who the fuck are you? It's from Eastbound and Down. Yeah, you feel invincible when you wear Dior Homme Intense. I don't blame you. This stuff is awesome. This is going to be a departure from the fragrances that we've talked about so far as date night romantic fragrances go. This one, makeup-y with the iris. It's creamy. It's got a nice bit of sweetness to it. It's got good performance, projects heavily, lasts a long time. It's also more formal, more of a dressed up fragrance than most of these over here, or all of them really. So this is one that I would think of as more of like a special occasion date night fragrance, maybe not just like the go-to sexy complimented beast kind of date night fragrance. Regardless though, Dior Homme Intense, one of the best ever. Page 2. Sting Chameleon 1 says, Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privee Eau de Parfum. Absolutely amazing for a date night. That being said, is it a good date night fragrance? Yeah, of course it is. It's a gentleman fragrance. We all want to smell like gentlemen, right? Right? Some of you out there are like, no. I want to smell like an F-boy. Good for you. Good for you. Everybody else can smell like a gentleman, I guess. Another iris fragrance. So we got 2 of those in a row. Actually, really similar color schemes there. Yeah. This one also has a really nice warmth to it. Booziness, woodiness as well. Even a touch of chestnut in there. So it's got a little bit of everything going on. It's very sexy, cozy, like some of these others that I've talked about. Perfect fragrance, but you do have to like iris. If you don't like iris, you will very likely not enjoy that one, though I do think it's easier to wear in more situations than my love over here, Dior Homme Intense. Martin Neuhofer 2802 says, Prada L'Homme Intense, unique, classy, and sophisticated. We have a 3rd fragrance in a row with iris. There's also tonka in here. There's leather, bit of woodiness as well. And this one in the US was very, very difficult to find for quite a while. As of this video, you can find it at discounters. Not for super cheap, but at least you can find it. It's real good, okay? That's all I'm saying. It's tasty, it's nice. The smell, really good quality here. It's got more of like a soapiness to the iris, a little bit powdery, but still really well done. The leather that's in here helps offset that iris. In the original Prada L'Homme, which is also fantastic, it's more like clean, soapy, buttoned up office kind of fragrance. That's the style. This one, it's a little bit more sexy, formal, classy, not necessarily mature, but just smells like money. So it does make like the perfect counterpoint to the original Prada L'Homme. Like that's the daytime version, this is the evening version, and it does it so well. Up next, we have Phantom Spaceman. It's another great name, and would be actually a pretty good band name once again. Phantom Spaceman. That'd be like some kind of indie rock, I feel like. And he says, Jet Black Enigma. Come on. Now, since this is my fragrance, I got 2 others in here to make it technically 11, okay? So 10 plus my fragrance. I'm not biased at all. What are you talking about? He says, Jet Black Enigma is a fragrance I pick for what you think you pick when you can do anything on romantic outside evening time. He says, but seriously, it is the best parts of Man in Black mixed with blazing Mr. Sam / Spice Bomb. Thank you, I'll take that. So Jet Black Enigma, like I just made a fool of myself talking about, is a fragrance that I creatively directed. It was released underneath the Michael Malone brand, Michael Malone X Gents. And that was the first fragrance that I did with Michael Malone. It's a flanker to their Jet Black line of fragrances, which is still going on. They've got, I think, a couple new ones coming out pretty soon. I didn't have anything to do with those, but they do have them coming out. It's a black box. Ta-da! So there's a lot of spices in this one. There's ginger, cardamom, cinnamon. It has a tiny touch of oud in there. Also labdanum, patchouli, good amount of vanilla, saffron as well. So it's just a very rich, spicy fragrance, easy to wear, really solid performance, and made for fall and winter evenings. So Jet Black Enigma, check it out. Oh, by the way, every Perfumania store and every fragrance outlet store in the country, you can find all of my fragrances. So these back here, Jet Black Enigma, South Slope, Edgewater, West Loop, Terra Nova. And you can find them at Michael Malone's website, linked in the description. Let's keep it moving. Scent Blast is up next. Who says Azzaro, the most wanted parfum. Ended up spending a night with this older woman, and she said I smelled incredible. He just had to slip that in there. He's like, yeah, most wanted parfum. I'd say that's probably a pretty good date night fragrance. By the way, I was spending the night, if you know what I mean, spending the night with this older lady. Yeah, she's kind of a cougar. You could say that, MILF, yep. And she said I smelled incredible. Yeah, so just wanted to put that out there, you know, just let you guys know. wait, what? Let you guys know. Let you guys know that I was getting a little freaky. I'm just the man, basically. It's me, Scent Blast. I'm the man. Honestly, though, I do really love that you put that in there. You even put like a winky smiley face. It's like, ah. I would also choose the Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. So basically the two most wanted fragrances that are better suited for fall and winter time. Since he said the Most Wanted Parfum ended up with a nice older lady, that's the one we're gonna go with. I am also so curious. Like Scent Blast, is he like 20? And he's talking about he ended up with like a 30-year-old? Is Scent Blast 30 and he ended up with a 70-year-old? Or is he 20 and ended up with a 70-year-old? Either way, she was older. That's all we know. Let us know, Scent Blast. The Most Wanted, both the Eau de Parfum Intense and Parfum, are fantastic for fall and winter, especially during the evening. Great date night fragrances. They're very warm, sexy, have an almost edible scent profile to them that people just really cling to. The Most Wanted Parfum has a little bit of a smokiness in there, so that's gonna give it a different edge versus the Most Wanted Eau de Parfum Intense. Both of them, though, can't go wrong with. And honestly, their price point is pretty good at full retail compared to other fragrances nowadays at full retail. They are sometimes hard to get for a good discount though, because they are popular and the discounters know. So last up, we have El Riquet, who says, Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male, my female loves it. One way to put it, that's what I'm gonna start calling my wife. You're my female. It's like, okay, call me male. I am your male. Can't go wrong with this one though, can we? This is a bit of a hype beast, or it was. Kind of like this. We started in similar fashion here. A fragrance that at one point in time was just heavily hyped everywhere. And then, you know, time goes on, things change, and it doesn't get talked about quite as much, but it still works just as well. That's this. Ultra Male has good performance, big projection, great longevity, very sweet. It has this pear sweetness off the top that grabs attention, vanilla as it dries down. And it's one of those ones that has great versatility because it does work very well as a date night fragrance. I wouldn't go crazy heavy, but in that situation, it works well. But then also on a night out, if we're talking about just like hitting the town, if you're going to maybe some bars, breweries, clubs, whatever, it works really well in situations like that too. Some people like to go crazy heavy with it because of that projection. You know, it's gonna get you noticed if you blast yourself, you know, 20 times with it. But I would still, even in those night out situations, probably rein it in just a little bit. I think it smells better that way personally, but a big compliment puller. And that one is one that my wife actually loves. This is one of the first fragrances that she really kind of expressed how much she liked it and wanted me to wear it. So it's got a little place up here for me too. So there we go, guys. There are your choices, and also Drakkar Noir. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys.